Hello and welcome back to another Ministry Eviction gameplay video. Today I have a very funny game where I use one schematic and I am playing against a surge ranked player. I noticed a lot of people were complaining about eviction being really dependent on having a lot of schematics that you can use to build economy and stuff. And I kind of wanted to disprove that in a way. Unfortunately, you have to be able to do this strategy well. You have to very much rely on a lot of um, controversial mods, particularly autofill, um, to be able to keep up the APM to spam mechanical drills on all of the coal patches in all of your different hexes. So, starting off the game straight away, making a couple of flare factories and just wiring things around. And this is the schematic that I'm going to be using the whole game. Just the flare factory. It's a flare factory. It has one silicon. It has two combustion generators, and it needs a certain amount of sand. Sorry, not sand, coal, and it just runs itself once you put the coal in. It runs itself basically forever. So starting off, I'm just setting up some copper drills, some flare factories. I think I'm building about 4, and we are a minute and 40 seconds in. I've got the one mono factory still unloading from my core, but it's not got very much power at all. So that will be running very slowly. And I'm going to change some of my flare factories into mono factories. I think about 2, maybe 3 of them will be swapped. And that's to be able to keep up with all of the mechanical drill spam I'm going to be doing the entire game. As soon as, and I'm also going to be spamming a bunch of copper drills and lead drills and stuff in this first hex, and that's all I'm going to do for the first hex. So we can see over in second hex, we are 2.5 minutes in nearly. We're 2 minutes 20 seconds, and I'm just probably very soon going to take that core. So yeah, and I'm setting up all of my copper in my first hex as best as I can, as quickly as I can. I don't want to use auto drill for that because it costs too much. It costs too much copper and lead. So now I have a couple of mono factories and I've taken the second core, and that's all that I need to start really kickstarting the strat. So I'm going to do that. Get another mono factory up, so that's 3, I think, 3 mono factories. Or maybe I'll forget to change it. And then I'm just going to go into this hex and start spamming out flares. So there's 1 flare. I'm going to put 2 more down here on this coal patch. And you can very easily see how this is going to ramp up quite quickly. We are 3.5 minutes in nearly. As long as I have the copper and lead to be able to afford this, which is more stuff I'm putting up now, putting up even more of that, I'm just going to be able to rush over to the other side of the map really fast. And in terms of flares, in terms of hexes captured, I already have 3 at 3.5 minutes. So expanding incredibly fast, which is kind of required because you need so much coal to make this work. Just putting up as many flare factories as I can immediately, starting to take my 4th hex, pulling the coal in, and yeah, I think I can put 4 on this patch. That's a very nice coal patch. I was very careful on which hex to take in my second hex because I needed as much coal as possible. But yeah, here we can see just spamming this out into 3 different factories. And 4th hex is about to be taken. Or it might be 5th, I can't remember. It is 4th. And 5th hex will come down a couple of seconds after that. Yeah, so 4.5 minutes in. Just expanding into 5th hex right now, and economy is going quite slowly. I don't have the copper and lead to build everything that I would like to. But, oh well. It's going well enough. Yep. Talking in chat, this is just mod abusal. The auto drills makes the entire strat work. If you don't use auto drill, you can still kind of try to play it, but it's just it's not good. And the strategy isn't optimal at all. It's not actually a very good strat. The reason for that is that you can just build a bunch of scatters, and because the only thing that they have is flares, they just run out of steam really quickly. But yeah, we're 5.5 minutes in, and I'm not actually over the other side of the map yet, which is a bit unfortunate. Normally when you're doing this, you'd like to be over to them as soon as humanly possible. Because if you're not, problems happen. You need to be able to take those cores right next to them. You can't let them have any buffer room. So yeah, expanding quite slowly in comparison to stuff. Screaming in chat because somebody was giving him advice and telling him what I was doing. Just building a bunch of flares still. This is all that we're going to be doing the entire game. Yeah, so the most important thing with this is that you have to get over to them like this. You have to get over to them before they can set up proper defenses, before they have the copper and lead to set up proper defenses. And by proper defenses, I mean like a couple of layers of walls and a couple of scatters, at least. But that's probably not enough. Flares are very strong units, just in general. They can tank through a lot of stuff. I'm noticing that he's expanding into, I think, his third hex right about now. That's 7 minutes in. So that's interesting. And I'm just keeping building more flares because I've seen that he's got quite a lot of production. And now I can just go straight for this core. This doesn't have any walls on it. So it doesn't matter that he's got a lot of scatters there. The core's health is not high enough to actually deal with any of that. So that's just the one core gone. We're just over 7 minutes in, and I'm comfortably winning the game. Just off of space and economy alone. He tried to hold that core, but I didn't let him. I'm just going around making sure that all of the flare factories that I build are running and just keeping up the production. The build really slows down and runs out of steam past the like 7-minute mark. I can see that he's going to try to build into this core. I'm not going to let that happen. Got a lot of flares here. And yeah, the build just runs out of steam really quickly, but if you can get enough value, then it can be really, really difficult to hold on to. So I can see that he's once again trying to make a schematic for flares. He's just desperately trying to get some sort of counterplay. And I can't actually take that core because of the walls. I can't quite take it yet. I will be able to in just a second, but as of right now, I can't take it. Yeah, and so there's flares just coming down, and I can see that his flares are coming up, so I'm just going to build 1 or 2 scatters on each core. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter if I lose any of this, because it's copper and lead. I can just press the B button and rebuild it all. It doesn't actually matter. I'm probably about to hit unit cap on flares, so I'm going to have to do something. And the something that I choose to do there is to try to go here and just... I don't choose to do anything yet. Okay. I was going to say try to brute force my way through the defenses on that hex, but didn't do that. I thought I did. But yeah, A is a surge rank player, and I'm using one schematic this entire game as well as some mods. The strategy basically just disproves people needing a lot of schematics to be good. That being said, it does heavily rely on mod abusal, and that losing that core is huge for me. Him losing that core is huge for me. Because now he basically has no second hex and no way to expand into any second hex. I'm gonna mend this core before he tries to attack it. So he has no second hex or way to build into a second hex. So, he has one up there, but he can't wire power to that, so it's not so economically viable. And he takes one of my cores, but I don't really care. Again, it's copper and lead. Nobody. It doesn't actually mean anything. I have nothing of value in my entire base, so you can't kill me. And I think that that's where A calls the game. He thinks that he's lost. He can still hold first hex. The game's not over because I only have flares. He can just set up a lot of scatters in first hex and hold on for quite a while, but I can always tech out. Just build a thorium drill and then eventually make tier 3. It's difficult though. I tried to build in this hex and then I realized, wait, I already did this ages ago. I can just replace it all, build over the same spots. But yeah, rebuilding dead cores in this strat is very powerful. You want to be able to rebuild all of the stuff that you lost, that you lose, and it's not very hard because it's just copper, lead, and maybe a little bit of build speed, but it's really just APM. Your economy is really just just dependent on your APM. So you can just do whatever you like, really. And you'll eventually get through everything. It's a very brute force strategy, way more brute force than pretty much any other strategy in the game. Even hyper aggression, hyper aggro. It's not quite as aggressive as this because I'm just not building economy. I've not built any graphite, any metaglass, any silicon, any titanium, anything. I've just made flares the entire game. Which, yeah, it gives you a lot of army, but it fizzles out very fast. As you can see, we're 12.5 minutes in, and I haven't really been able to do a ton. And don't have any good coal patches to build more flares. I think A has pretty much given up at this point, but I actually still need to take out this last hex. I'm going to blow those two up, start attacking the core. That kills his power. Even if I don't get the core, it's quite hard to deal with the economy loss, and A resigns. GG.